I have not been here all week. It's been a very busy week and so much has been going on, but I wanted to give you an end of the day weekly kind of warrior wrap up, which is actually a phrase I use on my radio program on WVOX, which I recorded today. So much is going on and there's so much noise and escalation every day of new problems that are out of our control. But what we can control is our children's digital safety. And when I say children, I mean if you're a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, immediate family members, all trusted adults. Because as we know, not all families are with parents. We have everything going on these days. So let's just say this is for all trusted adults. I want everybody to learn a couple of things. You think you know everything about back to school? Well, in 2021, this is a new environment, a new everything. We live in this 24/7 digital world now. It's not going to get better. It's not going back to what you grew up with, maybe what I grew up with, certainly not. So we have to now deal with it. That's the only way to forge ahead, make a commitment to engage, educate, and empower ourselves and our children against all of the online predation happening and in real life predation that's happening. Back to school, let's talk about it. It used to be fun. You got your new book bag, your lunchbox, your notebooks, your pencils, your pencil case. Well, we kind of still have all of that, but we kind of still don't have any of that. I want to remind everybody something called our digital footprint. Now, many people say to me, what's a digital footprint? It simply means everything we put online about ourselves. Everyone has a digital footprint. If you do anything online, emails, text messages, apps, downloads, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we have a digital footprint. So it simply means everything you've ever put online. We have to take a couple of easy steps to recognize what our digital footprint is and to teach our children, age appropriate. We don't want to scare them, but again, we want to be firm about all of this because it's not getting any better. It's only getting worse as far as the predators lurking all around. The COVID, the pandemic gave them an easy entree into seeing just how vulnerable we and our children are and spending more time online. So they just slide in. They're very smart, these predators. They'll wait, they'll groom. And grooming means getting familiar with a person online, gaining their trust, becoming their friend. I want all of you to know, we have so many different things to talk about. Let's focus on this back to school. I want all of you to learn what these terms mean. You need to know. I'm convinced because this is dark and overwhelming, this subject matter, people tend to tune out, and I don't blame them, but we cannot. The time is now. We have to learn. We're going to learn together. That's why I'm here, to help you learn about all of this. We're going to start with, there's a glossary of terms, and you'll find them on the website, linswarriors.org. Go to that Take Action section and learn. What's a digital footprint? What does grooming mean? What does sextortion mean? You have to know these things because I guarantee you it's not if your child will be approached online. It is when your child will be approached online. We have reports. Now, remember, things are always underreported with these crimes of 1 in 4 children ages 6 to 18 being approached online. Of 1 in 4, 40% on a daily basis are corresponding with a complete stranger. They don't know who this person is. And this is shocking. And remember, it's probably higher. So we want to start with explaining to our children. We want to sit down together and we want to start something. I didn't grow up with the internet. I don't know much about the internet. Let's talk about this together and let's discuss safety and what's going on in today's world. You have to start there. You have to start on the ground. Communication sounds very simple, but this is it. This is key. Communication with your child. Have this trusting digital relationship. You describe digital footprint, your life online. Older teens, you might want to go over some of the glossary. Again, you'll find that linswarriors.org and go over some of the terms. So in case the kids, the older kids encounter some of this, they'll understand what this dialogue is about. We want to talk about keeping it simple but firm. Explain to the kids, not everything you post remains private. Actually, most of everything, what you post, is out there. Even if you delete an image, a dialogue, it's up in that mysterious cloud, or it's been captured, somebody's done a screenshot, or somebody's retweeted it. So explain, you're not just talking to your friends, it's out there for the world. The internet, think of the internet as the world. The world is watching everything. So you want to explain things are not private. You want to explain privacy, this concept. I think everybody has actually lost their minds in the last couple of years, and they're exposing everything there is to expose and putting it online. You want to explain privacy. We have to get back to that. You want to explain also, believe it or not, be courteous, be kind online because of this bullying and this meanness. And remember, the kids are witnessing what the adults are doing. Even if you don't think they are, they're absorbing this. They're taking it all in. These kids are savvy and they're replicating our behaviors. So we want to remind them to be kind. We want to also tell them, think twice before you send anything. That goes for adults too, but let's focus on the kids. Think twice before you send anything. Those simple little steps, if you reinforce them over and over, privacy, think twice, be kind, be mindful of what you put online. So we'll leave that there. That's part of the digital footprint. Now it's back to school time. We have to talk about safety in real time and online. Those are the two big things. You know, parents and grandparents are so proud posting these first day of school pictures. I'm seeing a lot of them this week here in New York and around New Jersey and Connecticut, where I live, and I'm sure you're seeing them where you live as well. I am also in fear of that, and I'll talk about that, but also we'll be gearing up for those photos, those back to school photos that always happen during September with our kids. Again, we're proud of our kids. We want to share it online with family and friends. You know what? We just can't do it anymore. I'm going to tell you why. And I talk to people in the media all the time that agree with me. And then I turn around and see they posted their child online, perhaps in their school uniform, giving away all the information in that one photo. So what we want to do is, let's talk about the photos first. Sorry, should not be posting them online. You should not be posting anything about your child. You have to remember, keep their privacy. You cannot post any identifiable markers, a picture in your home, your backyard, the front of your house, or perhaps, and these are things I've seen, your house number on the front of the house is visible in the background, or your car is in the driveway and they see the license plate. Very careful, everybody. You also don't want to post pictures of birthday parties in real time because they can figure out the lurking predators. And when I say lurking, they are lurking, boy. They are all around, and it's getting worse as I'm sitting here talking to you. So you don't want to have what school they go to. You don't want to have them in a uniform. You might even, I know everybody does this pretty much inadvertently. You know, you might be going out for ice cream after the first day and the child has a school uniform on. Remember, these predators are smart. They take everything in. They know where to look for these kids. So you don't want to have the school, the uniforms, the birthday parties, and certainly no personal information, birth dates, ages, addresses, clubs, hobbies, where the kids are hanging out. You cannot have those check-in locations. You cannot tag things. You just simply cannot do it. And you have to set everything to private. Remember, default to safety. Default to safety. You can do it, everybody. There are plenty of videos out there that will do it, will explain how to do it if you don't understand. And something that, if you know what, it is overwhelming and it is tough, a lot of these default to safeties. One of my number one complaints is I don't know how to do it on the Google Chromebook. I can't. So here's what I'm going to recommend. And I don't get paid for any of this. This is my research. These are my words. There is a wonderful company called Bark. Yes, like a dog, B-A-R-K. Bark.us is the website. Again, bark.us. It's an online safety company that will do all of the work for you for a nominal fee, which I'll talk about, to give you peace of mind. And Bark will monitor. I don't even really like the word monitor, but you know what? Predators are winning. We have to take action. Bark is a dashboard, and it will monitor your child's YouTube videos and emails and text messages, all kinds of things, plus 30 plus apps. And you can try it for 1 week for free. And I recommend free, free, free. That's what the Warrior is about. Free resources as much as possible. And see if you like it. You can connect it to your phone. Say, for instance, you have an 8-year-old son. Certain dialogue comes up. You'll get a text message. Certain videos, you'll get notified. I think it's worth trying for free for 7 days. And then if you decide, and everything's on the website, bark.us. And then if you decide, you know what, this is good, you can sign up. They have a program for young kids. I think it's $4.99 a month, $9.99 for older kids. Well worth somebody doing all the work for you, monitoring, contacting you, and giving you that peace of mind. Because after all, in this disruption we've all been living in, it's tough to keep up with all of this, take care of our families, go to work, deal with all of this. And back to school, at least here in New York, it's all very up in the air. They're going starting September 13th into the public schools. Some private schools are starting next week. If COVID happens, they're doing hybrid. It's all over the place. So you know what? Everything's out of control. What we can control is our children's safety. So we're going to start with this digital footprint, online reinforcement. And I want to recommend Lynn's Warriors. We do a book of the month every month. This month, the book is called Parenting in a Tech World by Matt McKee and Titania Jordan. And I had Titania on my radio program last week. She is the Chief Parent Officer. And I love that title. We all need to be the Chief Parent Officer at Bark, B-A-R-K, with the little purple dog. That's their logo. And she came on the program, and it's if you do one thing, this is it. You got to work on this digital safety. So I'm going to hold up actually the book because, you know, I read every book before I recommend them, make my own decisions. And also it has to be good for parents and affordable. And I bought this for, I don't know if you can see it because it's a little, okay, I'll just hold it there. Parenting in a Tech World with the emojis, very nominal fee. I'm talking under $10. I actually just ordered yesterday a bunch of these that I'm going to be giving out to every parent or grandparent, family member I come across that has a child. I'm recommending this for reading. You know, I didn't even know until fairly recently, there's a whole secret library of emojis that the kids use. They don't have to use words. They use emojis and they text to each other. And, you know, very sexual in meaning. What does an eggplant mean? All kind, you got to know this stuff because I guarantee you, the kids already know it, the majority of them. So you're going to want to read up about all of this. And again, I always recommend the fabulous, you know, sounds like a weird word to use with all of this trafficking and predation talk, but it really is an excellent, I'll change my word to excellent, documentary called Childhood 2.0. The website is Childhood 2.0. The website is Childhood 2 Movie, Childhood, the number 2, movie.com. And go to the website. It's all about raising kids in the digital age, which we're talking about. I'm certainly talking about 24/7. And real parents, real kids talking about the online landscape. If you do nothing else, you can find it for free on YouTube. Childhood 2 Movie. Watch the trailer. The trailer is a little over 2 minutes, and I guarantee you will want to watch the complete documentary. So now you're armed with all of this digital information. And why I keep talking about all of this is because I saw studies, I was given confidential information. Prior to COVID, the mental health of our children was deteriorating. during COVID, escalating this deterioration. And just now, this week, reports are starting to leak out that the mental health of our children, this is crisis. So again, while everything around us is out of control, we must take control in our own homes and communities of our own children. And when I hear, which I heard this week in a new study, that 54% of children ages 4 to 18, let me repeat, 4 to 18, 54% of children actively talk about self-harm or suicide. This is alarming. This is beyond alarming. And remember, underreported crimes, it's probably higher. So that's basically, if we do a little estimation, that's every other child is talking about self-harm and suicide. What are we doing about this? We have to take charge. And that brings me to, you'll be hearing more about this. I'm putting together a full medical protocol along with some colleagues of mine, where we're going to get law enforcement. They must become our partners. Law enforcement, pediatricians, media, developing a program that we will go into schools and residences and begin teaching in the tri-state area, New York area, and then go across the country, because we have to be grassroots. We have to get, boots on the ground and do this. I kid you not. So we want to do that. But I want to mention that we also have to be still aware of predation happening in real time as kids go back to school. And what does that mean? You can do everything we talk about and everything correctly you read about with your child, but it depends. Who are their friends? Who are they around? Because that group think changes people's minds. It's like people would always say, my child would never go off with a stranger in a park. Yet we've seen those videos, I know most of us have, where the child, some man says, I lost my puppy, the child just goes right off and the parents are in shock. So we have to be very aware of who their friends are. We have to talk to the kids about their friends. We have to know. Kids are into gaming. Who are their gaming friends? We have to set these to friends only or privacy. But we have to talk to the kids and make them our partners in all of this, not alienate them. We also have to talk about, everybody should know that you dial 911 for imminent danger, 911. Everybody should also keep handy the National Human Trafficking Hotline, 888-373-7888, because that number will connect you. It's free, it's confidential, and will connect you to local resources, or you can ask questions. But you need to keep that as a handy number, both children, and you decide on the age, because you're the parent, so you take control. Is that a child from 10 that you program that perhaps into their phone or write that down somewhere? Or do you want that to be a 12-year-old? I just want everybody to know I'm all about age appropriate and the parents making the decisions for their own children. But we have to realize that things are escalating and happening. The demand is for children. So we have to find a way to start talking about all of these issues appropriately with our young kids, so they aren't vulnerable and falling into the hands of the predators. And with what I just told you about the mental health of our children, that during this COVID period has certainly deteriorated their mental health. We're in crisis and it's ongoing. Nothing has ended, so we don't even know this disruption, the kids don't know. Can you imagine? I mean, kids are going back to school afraid, or they're all with the mask on and they can't see each other. And I have parents telling me the children wear the masks to bed and they cry. They don't want to take them off. They don't want to make eye contact, all kinds of stuff. And all of this. I know all of you do. So it's up to us again. The only thing we can do is make a dent in this by taking control in our own homes and communities. But I want you to know in real time, talk to your kids about safe space. Is that a family member? What if mom's not around or dad's not around? Is it a school nurse? And we want to be careful with all of this. with everything going on too. But kids have to know that they're safe and reassured. You've got to be on top of it. It's not spying on your kids. It's not monitoring their emails. It's protecting them because the predators are out there and they're making their moves all around. I was just reading a report, the gangs. And somebody said to me, well, the gangs are, you live in New York City. I said, let me tell you something about gangs. Gangs are in working their way into communities, not just the major cities. They are helping the cartels on the border carry out their business within the United States. We've got the Crips and the Bloods right here in Westchester, in suburbs. I'm in New York City. Not only do we have crazies, we've got gangs, we got it all here. But I was explaining to somebody in lofty Westchester, you have the Crips, right? So they're all over. And their number one business right now is human trafficking, sex trafficking, because it's much easier to traffic people. And how sad is this statement? Than to traffic and do the work of drugs trafficking. So we've got to be aware they're moving into all the communities. We've got to know all these facts. You got to know what's happening. That's the first step, raising awareness, education, and then engaging the children and empowering them. So if they see something or hear something, they come to you and you can take the next steps. And again, I'll say, I know all of this is overwhelming. I am committed and passionate because I know what's going on. And I know that nothing's really being done. By the time on a federal level, something happens, it's too late. Don't let your child be the next victim. I work on policy for the city, state, and on a federal level. Big tech, why is there no accountability? We're creeping along, coming up with, new legislation. It's too late. It's good. It's all happening. Everybody's working on other things. The children seem to be, and all of this seem to be at the bottom of the barrel, or else we'd have, K through 12 mandatory human trafficking in every single school district, or we'd have safe houses and residences set up and financed by our government to help. We have only one boys' safe house in the state of Florida that's accredited in the entire United States. Think about that. Criminal. We can't wait around. We have to take action. I do want to share with you that a good friend of mine and her husband, Landon Starbuck and Robbie Starbuck. Robbie's running for Congress in Tennessee, and Landon is my true warrior sister. She's the freedom warrior. And they are organizing a march on the border on Saturday, September 25th, beginning at 1:00. These brave young couple, 3 beautiful children, lived in California, both in show business, and left the business of show because they are a strong family unit. They had different values, and they wanted to get away from all that is what I call the Hollywood hustle, and moved to Tennessee a few years ago. And I am their biggest cheerleader and supporter. So they've organized March to the Border, and that's the website, marchtotheborder.com. I urge all of you to go to marchtotheborder.com and read about this, because we have sex trafficking, we have murders, we have rapists. Nobody's talking about this. We know that reporting on the border has dropped lately, almost 100%, meaning nobody's talking about it. We have children, more children than you can imagine, coming alone. These children are being dispersed all throughout the United States. We don't really know anything about them. We have people picking them up. These people aren't vetted. We don't know who these people are. Local law enforcement tells me they're kept out of it. This is all from the federal government. So yes, we'll march on the border. We'll have a presence. We'll have a video. We'll make some noise, because we cannot have these minors, not to mention they're in horrible conditions when they're brought here. A lot of them are sick. I can't even share with you the stories I've heard from Border Patrol. But we have not only the children being trafficked, we have women being raped and abused. We have drugs coming in like you can't believe on this border. Nobody's doing anything about it. We have to take a stand. So I want you to go to marchtotheborder.com. That will be on Saturday, September 25th at 1 o'clock, McAllen, Texas. And even if you don't, because let's face it, unless you live in McAllen or you're around there or can travel there, you need to be supportive. And you can do that in a variety of ways, not even being there. You can share a tweet you might find at Lynn's Warriors that I tweet about the march. You can go to March to the Border and share their visuals, their suggested hashtags. Every little bit counts, warriors. I'm telling you, strength in numbers. Knowledge is power. Marchtotheborder.com. I want all of us to work on our children. And with that, warriors, I'm going to let you all go. So until we speak again, remember, be well, stay safe, default to safety in all of your children's devices, communicate with the kids, always refer to lynswarriors.org for information. And remember, every day, go out and be a warrior, protect our children.